Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be sharing 5 of my 5-star predictions because I've been in a bit of a reading slump recently and I've been struggling to find 5-star books, but I did recently find a 5-star book. But I decided to go through my shelves and just see what books I think will be 5 stars, just to see if I still know my reading taste, if I still know what I like to read, all of that jazz, because I've been struggling recently. So I have 5 books in front of me that I think will be 5 stars. And if they're not, then I'm going to deactivate my channel, honestly, because if these books aren't 5 stars, then I just simply don't know what I like anymore, and I'm going to give up. That's a bit dramatic, but like, you know the gist of it. Like, these are 5-star predictions. If I don't like these, I'm going to question my sanity and everything that I know about myself. So let's start off with the first book, which is kind of the book that started it all, because I read the first book in this series. I finished it like last week and I gave it 5 stars. Absolutely adored it. If I want to be nitpicky, it's more like a 4.5. I'm just gonna round it up to 5 because honestly, it's everything that I love in a fantasy romance, everything that I've been wanting in a fantasy romance. And it's the War of Lost Hearts series by Carissa Broadbent. The first book is Daughter of No Worlds, and the second one is Children of Fallen Gods. So the reason I have this one on my list is because I gave the first book 5 stars. And there were things that didn't happen in the first book that I really want to see happen in this book, that being more development for the romance, because this is a fantasy romance following a trainer and like a trainee dynamic, which I absolutely love. So basically you're following Tisana, who is a slave that finally buys out her freedom, and she wants to go to the world of Ara and join the orders so that she can become more powerful and become kind of like a warrior soldier type thing, so that she can create an army to go back to her hometown and help free all of the other slaves. And in order to fulfill this mission, she has to join the orders. But to join the orders, you have to go through a 6-month training process so you can learn more about your magic and like hone your magical abilities and become stronger. So she needs a trainer. But since she just like stumbled upon this all of a sudden, there are no available trainers except for one person who has not been training people in a while. He's kind of like done with the whole order stuff. He's just like minding his own business, doing his own thing. He's not involved in the orders anymore. So since she needs a trainer, they're like, you know what, go ahead and train with that guy. He hasn't trained with anybody and he still has to, you know, fulfill his duties. So just go train with him and everything's gonna be all fine and dandy, except for the fact that he does not want to train her. He's very reluctant and very hesitant to train her because he just isn't involved in that life anymore. But after Tisana just like camping out in front of his doorstep one day, and he stumbles upon her in the morning, he's like, what are you still doing here? And she's like, I need you to train me. So once he realizes how determined she is and what exactly her goal is, he decides to finally train her. So they start training over the course of 6 months, and then they start growing a beautiful dynamic. It's honestly so stunning because in the first book there is a very slow burn romance and not much happens in regards to the romance, but because of all the things that happened in the first book, there wasn't much romantic development besides that. So I'm hoping that the second book is going to give me all of the romance development that I want and need, because as much as I loved the slow burn romantic tension in the first book, I need more development. I need more. I need more from them because they have such a stunning dynamic and they know each other so well. They're so in tune with each other on like a deep level, and it is so stunning. I love every second of it. So I'm hoping the second book, Children of Fallen Gods, is going to give that to me. So that's why it's my 5-star prediction, because it's the second book in a series. Things are getting crazy. Hopefully the romance starts becoming more intense and starts developing even more, and I need more of it. So my first 5-star prediction has to be this one. And then I decided to be a little silly goofy and put a classic on my 5-star predictions. Don't ask me why. Crime and Punishment is a 5-star prediction. I've never read a Russian classic before. I've read 2 classics for fun, one of them being The Picture of Dorian Gray, loved it, 5 stars. And the other one being The Count of Monte Cristo. Like, yeah, I read The Count of Monte Cristo, absolutely loved it also. I gave it like 4.5 stars, 4 stars, so good. So I'm hoping this one will be 5 stars because just something about it seems like it's right up my alley, because you're following this character, Raskolnikov, who is a destitute and desperate former student who wanders through the slums of St. Petersburg and commits a random murder without remorse or regret. He imagines himself to be beyond conventional moral laws, but as he embarks on a dangerous game of cat and mouse with a police investigator, Raskolnikov is pursued by the growing voice of his conscience and finds the noose of his own guilt tightening around his neck, which sounds so good. Like, I love a book with like somewhat morally gray characters who do bad things but try to like justify it in their head and think that they're like above the other person. Like, I don't know, something about that. I just love going into the minds of characters like that. Like, you see that a little bit in Dorian Gray and Monte Cristo, how they're like somewhat morally gray characters that are just like doing all of these like somewhat crazy things. Some of them sometimes are justified, like in Count of Monte Cristo, some of them are justified, but just like seeing these characters like do these things and try to like rationalize it in their head is honestly so fascinating. And I don't know, I just really think I'm gonna like it. It's like the first sentence here on the back says, Dostoevsky's great novel of damnation and redemption evokes a world where the lines between innocence and corruption, good and evil blur. Like, I don't know, it just honestly sounds right up my alley. I've never read a Russian classic, so I'm a little bit terrified that's gonna be difficult to get into. But I know that Bella from Throne of Pages really loved this one, so I don't know, it's 650 pages, but it's okay. I think I can do it. This is gonna be my goal for 2024, to read Crime and Punishment, because just something about it just seems like it's gonna be right up my alley, so I really hope I love this one. So now we're gonna switch over to something very different from Crime and Punishment, and that is Lord of Scoundrels by Loretta Chase. This is a historical romance, and I honestly don't know much about it, so I'm just gonna read what it says on the back. It says, Sebastian Ballister, the notorious Marquess of Dane, is big, bad, and dangerous to know. No respectable woman would have anything to do with the bane and blight of the Ballisters, and he wants nothing to do with respectable women. He is determined to continue doing what he does best, sin and sin again, and all that's going swimmingly, thank you, until the day a shop door opens and she walks in. Jessica Trent is a determined young woman, and she's going to drag her imbecile brother off the road to ruin, no matter what it takes. If saving him, and with him her family and future, means taking on the devil himself, she won't back down. The trouble is, the devil in question is so shockingly irresistible, and the person who needs the most saving is herself. So basically, we have Girly Pop trying to save her brother from some sort of situation going on with this man, and she's ended up falling in love with that man. And my friend absolutely loves this book. Like, she's been bullying me to read this for a hot minute now, and she's been telling me so many things about it. Like, there's like apparently like a scene where she like points like a gun at him, and it's just like a whole thing. Honestly, it just sounds so unhinged from what she's told me. It sounds so unhinged and crazy. I don't know much about it besides like what it says on the back and what my friend has told me about it, but I have seen some quotes on Instagram, and honestly those quotes are stunning. So stunning. So I really hope I love this one. I've never read anything by Loretta Chase, so this is gonna be my first book by the author, and I really hope I like it. So the next book that I have is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I honestly don't really know what this is about. I just know that the author is an absolutely beautiful, stunning, gorgeous person. I love her so much. I met her at the Miami Book Fair, and that's where I got this copy, and she signed it for me, and we had such a stunning conversation. And honestly, I love Lauren Roberts, so I might be like a little bit biased once I do go into this book, because I just love her so much. Like, I have a parasocial relationship with Lauren Roberts. Like, in my head we're BFFs because we just connected on like a deep level at the book fair. So I don't really know what this is about. I know that it's an enemies to lovers romance. I'm just gonna go ahead and read what says on the inside. So, only the extraordinary belonged in the kingdom of Ilia, the exceptional, the elites. The elites have possessed powers for decades gifted to them by the plague, while those born ordinary are just that, banished from the kingdom of Ilia and shunned from society. No one knows this better than Peyton Gray, an ordinary posing as a psychic to blend in with the elites. But when she unwittingly saves one of Ilia's princes, Kai Azur, she's thrown into the Purging Trials, a brutal competition showcasing the elite's powers. If the trials and the opponents within them don't kill her, the prince she's fighting feelings for will, if he discovers what Peyton is, completely ordinary. Oh my god, stop. There's a tournament, trials in this? I fucking love a book with trials because it makes the stakes so much higher. Oh my god, and the front says hunted, hunter, destined for each other. Like, oh my god, I don't know, just something about this feels like it's right up my alley. It is young adult though, and I haven't really vibed with many young adult fantasy romances, so I don't know how that's gonna go, but I'm still really interested because, oh my god, the quotes on the back. This one's from Peyton. It says, "I've never been looked at like it's a privilege to be in my presence, an honor to hold my gaze, a gift to get a glimpse of me, not until I met him." And then Kai's quote says, "If I am to be her enemy, I want it to be because she loathes herself for wanting me. She is the very thing he has spent his whole life hunting. He's the very thing she has spent her whole life pretending to be, and fate ensured they would find each other." Like, I don't know, just something about this synopsis and these vibes feel like they're, again, right up my alley, so I really hope I love this one. And then the last book that I have is Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb. Again, I don't really know what this is about. I just know that my booktube bestie, Clara, she read this somewhat recently and she absolutely loved it and gave it 5 stars. And I trust her taste, and she said that it was better than Fourth Wing. Like, if you want like a dragon book that's actually good, read Dragonfall. I know that there's like a fantasy romance with a non-binary character, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just gonna read once again the inside. It says, "Thief Arcady scrapes a living on the streets of Vatra. Desperate, Arcady steals a powerful artifact from the bones of the Plaguebringer, the most hated person in Lumet history. Only Arcady knows the artifact's magic holds the key to a new life among the nobles at court and a chance for revenge. The spell connects to Everin, the last male dragon foretold to save his kind, dragging him through the veil. Disguised as a human, Everin soon learns that to regain his true power and form and fulfill his destiny, he only needs to convince one little thief to trust him enough to bond completely, body, mind, and soul, and then kill them. Yet the closer the two become, the greater the risk both their worlds will shatter." Sounds so good. There's dragons in it. I think there's like some sort of romance in there. And I don't know. I just really think I'm gonna love this one because I love a good fantasy romance with like dragons in it. Like Fear the Flames, one of my new favorite books of all time. And I really want to find more dragon books that are like actually good. So I'm really excited for this one. So those are all of my 5-star predictions. I have a very interesting mix of books here. Like I have some fantasy romance, I have some historical romances. Well, I have one historical romance, and I have a Russian classic because honestly I don't know what I like to read anymore. I don't know what my taste in books is. I don't know what genres I like anymore. I'm just going through like a bit of an existential crisis where I don't know what I like to read anymore. So hopefully some of these books, if not all of them, will be 5 stars or at least like a 4-star. I'll even accept, no, I'm not gonna accept a 3-star. These books need to be either 4 or 5 stars, and if they're anything less than that, I'm gonna be very upset. But yeah, so I will be doing a follow-up video sometime next year once I do read all of these books and let you guys know whether or not they were 5 stars. Let me know in the comments down below your 5-star predictions, books you think that you're absolutely going to love and why, and also let me know your recent 5-star books that you've read in the past couple months and absolutely loved. Let me know because I am desperately looking for some 5-star books and I might end up reading some of those recommendations because I need some more 5-star books in my life. But yeah, so that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.